Alrighty, thank you, everybody. So we are ready to start. So first off, thank you so much for taking time today to come. So my name is Samantha, and
I'm Belen Castellanos, and we're Frontetta Leads, and this is our React workshop.
alrighty. So we will give you these QR codes towards the end. So if you didn't get them now, no issue. We'll get it to you at the end.
Okay. Oh, am I starting on this?
It's the third.
I can go on the second slide.
Okay. So really quick, we want to just explain very quickly what React is. So if we came to any of your classrooms, you might have heard us explain a little bit about it. So React is a front-based focus type of framework. And what it is, it's a template for you to just copy, paste, and then you can edit and customize it as you want. And it's really popular for developing websites. It's really kind of an industry standard right now to know how to use React. And I think a lot of it is because it's very flexible. And of course, we have a little bit more going into what is React fully made out of. If you didn't know, React is made out of JavaScript. It's made out of CSS. It's made out of HTML. It has a lot of scripting languages in it. And because of that, it can be very versatile. And we'll show you some challenges and some examples of how exactly you can use React. And you might also get a chance to try it out for yourself today. That's for sure.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So there are a few core concepts. There's about 4 to 5 that you need to understand to start learning React. So the first is components. So in the past slide, we just showed that React is a JavaScript library with reusable components. So components are building blocks of our React website, which can be stuff like nav bars and buttons. So just a bunch of pieces that you can put together and make an entire great user interface. Props, which is short for properties, is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be things that you pass to those components, and it's how components talk to each other. So information will only be passed from parent to child, and it will never go child to parent. So that's something you need to keep in mind. State is going to be a component's memory variable. So a good example that we have here is like a button changing between on and off. But these states are reacting to user input. So it'd only be after the click that the state changes. So that's a very easy explanation of what a state would be. So for example, I have this cart over here. When the cart would have a state that would tell us exactly how many objects or products are in our cart. So, and that would increment. That's a good example of a state. The photo over here just shows that you have parent components and child components and states within the components. So that's just kind of a very basic diagram of how your app will be set up, or your website.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You do that.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the last two. This one takes a little bit of this one's a little bit more confusing, but JSX is just going to be an HTML lookalike that allows you to use HTML lines in JavaScript code. So basically just think about an HTML file and how you have your tags. You can now use that within your files. So that's makes it easier to use. The virtual DOM, this one takes a little bit of explaining. So a typical browser will make a copy of your website, and each time you make a change to that website, it will re-render. So it will rebuild that entire thing, but that can be very slow. So instead, React just fixes the tiny piece of the document that you edited and just returns that back to you. So while that seems kind of straightforward, it's only fixing one little piece, and that is optimizing your reloading, your refresh rate. So it is faster than other frameworks because of that. This diagram is not specific, or this code segment is not specifically related to this, but based off the definitions on the last slide, you should try to pick out what is what, so it will look more familiar when we give you the demo code. And as you can see here, we have properties being passed, and this is a nested component, so this is the child component of this bigger parent component. So this button could be something like content, other, cart, something like that. Yeah. Very good.
Alrighty, so now.
That's all y'all get. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-huh. So now's the actual part where you can start building a React app. And if you didn't do this, feel free to follow along with us. If you did, this is just a good refresher. So I'm gonna just quickly walk through how you can create a React app and show you everything it comes with as a default. So let's go and get started. I'm gonna go and just do it in my terminal for just ease, but you can do this in a text editor or in GitHub. So just keep in mind it's very versatile. So what I did is I went ahead and made a, go ahead.
Yes, one thing at this point, they should have a workshop guide.
Yeah.
At this point,
Oh,
you should
good
be able to open up your workshop guide, so you should be going to step 2. If you already passed installation, you should be able to follow along with everything we're doing with your step 2 with your workshop guide. So, if this environment doesn't look like your computer, go ahead and check that out. And if you get confused, that should have more detailed instructions that can help guide you through exactly what we're doing up here.
Thank you. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and make the React app. I already made my directory that I want this going in. What's that?
Out of curiosity, how many of y'all completed the setup guide? Most of y'all? Okay, great. So y'all are all
Perfect.
past the installation, correct? Okay, amazing. Thank y'all.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for opening the email too. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Alrighty, so now we're gonna use the package manager npx and we're gonna do the command create React app, and I'm gonna just call this one my app. We're gonna open that, let it download.
So here she's just restarting those last 3 steps you should have already completed. And these are they will never change. They're just the basic commands you use to create your React app. And the React is going to give you a template, kind of a boilerplate of all these files. So yeah, once we have that open, we'll kind of go over a little bit more about what each file folder is and what you do and do not touch. So yeah, once we open
Once that
up and
loads.
show the files, open
Just code.
yeah, it's code.x or to code. You should be able to, after this, once we open it up, go back to open up the show the files and in the my app and go back to the slides.
Got you.
So we can kind of talk what each one does. So if I know that you went more into depth about what the .js and what the all the root and stuff does. So you can do that, and then if you want, I can do the folders that are written kind of on there already.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's up to you though. I think the folders is more I know. I know the specifics. I'm not too well versed.
You're good. Okay, so those of you who followed step 1, you should be at this point right now where you have just an empty template. And I want us to briefly go over some of these files really quick. So if you can, in that deployed repo, which is that link that's all pink and all that, go ahead and go into it and click onto step 2 for me. So if you can just take a minute to do that. And that one should say, it's the React intro file if you're not there already.
It should be titled Workshop Guide, and your step 1 should be Open Project Folder, where you should be seeing a GIF that Sam so kindly made.
Actually, I could just show them here on the React guide. I think that'd be easier instead of doing it actually here.
Don't waste the slide. We might as just go note that the files that we have here, notice that they give us the
True. It's just, no, I put screenshots here in the file. I was just thinking, let me pull up the page instead.
of, no, I want to go over the files. I think it's important.
Okay. No, like, we're
This-
still going over the
slide.
files,
No, I
but
just want to go over the slide.
I
So
understand.
at this point, we will get into editing each individual file right now, but before I kind of want to guide y'all onto what these main folders are. and what is just what stuff that you're not gonna worry about. So the source folder, you're gonna spend 100, like, okay, 99% of your time there. That's where your source code lives. So your logic and your components live in this folder. So almost everything you do will be in this folder. Just keep that in mind when you are confused and don't know which folder to look in. It's probably the source folder. The node modules, your computer is going to handle your node modules folder, so do not touch it, do not delete it, do not edit it. If something does happen, you can reinstall it, so don't worry, you're not screwed. But usually, if you can help it, do not touch it, do not try to edit it yourself. The public, we rarely edit it. It contains our host page. Sorry, I lost train of thought. That's where you could go into this. So there's something called a root file, and that's what's held in the public folder. So we edit one file in there occasionally and only sometimes. That's why I say rarely edit. And Sam, when she goes through the demo, is going to tell you a little bit more about which file is important in the public folder.
Alrighty, so are we all at this point where we have just an empty project? Okay. So first step, looking at step 2, I want us to just kind of observe what exactly React is doing and how exactly it's going to be launching for you. So one of the most important files you're going to be working with today, but actually not working with, is this index.html file. So if you're ever wondering how exactly a web page is created, it wouldn't exist without this file right here. So what we have here in this source file, it's all of the stuff we actually go in and edit. This is where we can insert videos, we can add headers to our whole web page. All of that happens within these files. However, to make it all one consolidated link that you can send out to the public, that happens because of index.html. And the reason for that is, and you can scroll down the list, by the way, like the steps for more details. But the reason for this, that we can consolidate everything into one, is because of line 31 in Visual Studio Code here. It's this div ID equals root. So what happens is without these files here, without your source files, the website is just going to be launching root. And for root to actually have value in it, it gets values from the source file. So whatever is in the source file all gets compressed into one, and it is assigned to the variable root. So that's all React does. It just spits out whatever root is. And root will take the time to compress everything, put it in one, and that is how we can end up with a single link in working website in React. So is there any questions about anything we've gone over so far? Just any question. Like it can be anything. Alrighty. And just to explain a little bit as well of how exactly root is going to be connecting to your source file, you can go into, I need to double check the file, your index.js file. Yes, please, that helps. So this is where root is going to be getting all of those files. It starts rendering them into one. That's where the compressing has happened. So you compress and then you send it into index.html, spits it out into a URL, and that's how you end up with a website. So it does not matter how giant you make this source file. And this source file, by the way, is considered our front-end file. Doesn't matter how many files you add, they're all going to get compressed into one. So you can add a bunch of styling files like .css files. You can add a bunch of components. Doesn't matter. It's all going to get compressed and it's all going to be working together. So that's just a little explanation about how React works, and hopefully gives you an idea of how you can adjust it and edit it to your needs. So with that said, any questions before can we start getting into challenges?
Demo.
This was the demo. No,
No, demo is the color changing in the header.
no, I don't have those.
Um,
No, I didn't do this.
you have them right here.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so any questions before we start editing this ourselves? Okay, no? Okay. So do me a favor now. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is all. So we have a little demo for you. So we'll start basic. We kind of want everybody to feel familiar in each individual file. So our demo will just be 3 simple changes. We'll be changing the background color, we'll be adding an image, and we'll be adding a app header.
I was gonna say we might need to shorten it a little bit just so we have time for challenges.